part. Okay, so hello everyone. I want to do the reading part for a long time. Um, this is where the part where it's supposed to be midnight and social and reading. They're supposed to be. Let me check something first. Yeah, okay. So midnight social reading was supposed to be a place where people would sit around, just listen as I read stories, and we get some reactions out of the stories and how you feel. I've always wanted to get back to it because this is what it was. The whole thing was supposed to be about. What time is it, anyways? Okay, it's like 1 o'clock. It's like past midnight, but yeah, this is what the whole midnight social reading was supposed to be about. The reason I kind of stopped it because stories kind of went dry, so there was nothing to read. So there's nothing to give to the audience, and nothing that I wanted to even get out of there too. But um, so we found some stories, and I do want to read it to you. And we won't have live reactions as we used to do back in the day, and I don't think we'll have feedback to give to people as we used to have back in the day. But what happens is that at least we'll enjoy some sort of reading. So if you're ready to hear something and you're ready to also fall asleep, that's okay. You can fall asleep. You can stay awake. You can follow along on the story too. And you can also, I don't know what else you can also do. You can react. I don't know. You can do something. But um, yeah, I've always wanted to do some midnight social reading, and here we are again. So it's not that bad. We may not have all the hosts, and we blast through all two things, but uh, stories. But that's the point, you know. Oh, okay, you're still here. Um, we may have blast all story, but we still get to have the reading, which was the whole reason for this whole thing moving on to thing. Actually, let me change this to now that it's not really a podcast anymore. It's more of just chatting. Let me change that. All right. Yeah, now it's just more just chatting. So, Icy Golem Death Freeze. Yo, that's a hot name still. Icy Golem Death Freeze by like CPG RPG Strawberry Milk. I wonder what we're going to get into. I hope you guys didn't read ahead. Even though it's on screen, I hope you guys didn't read ahead. Um, Forewarning, my reading is terrible. Okay, my reading is garbo. So I'll do my best. Sometimes there's some good days, and sometimes there's some bad days. Um, Hopefully this will be one of those good days. So get your favorite beverages. Get your favorite beverage out. I don't have no music to play. That wouldn't. That usually I can find a copyright free song to work with the thing. If it is a story that has something to do with with an anime that recently came out, usually there's that chance where I can be like, oh, I know this one, but uh we'll have to make things work as they go. Maybe I have to play Naruto Swing Set a couple times. All right, so without further ado, let's just get into this. Death Freeze is a partner of Maria Aqua. Death Freeze is said to have been a golem made by the Lord of Water. But once the Lord disappeared, Death Freeze vanished into obscurity. They are said to wander the frozen fields of the Water Lord Castle, but very few have seen it. However, creatures in most recent years have been hearing a beautiful ghastly song echoing through the Lord's domain, and every time it does, a blizzard befalls the land it is heard in. The blizzard are so strong that not even the creatures of the Water Lord's domain, could last a few seconds in it. But but every time someone looks out the window during one of those blizzards, they heard the song again. I mean, okay, so apparently there's a window in the Water Lord's castle made out of water. I don't know how the floors are like, but we probably just swim up the stairs. Uh, and um, I lost myself because I was trying to do something else at the same time. And there's creatures that every time. Okay, and see the two shadowy figures in the snow. One of the children, and the other, a slender giant. These stories have been going through the Lord's domain at almost 10 years until the blizzard and the song both vanished. No one knows what happened to the song of the two shadows, but Death Freeze has been reported, being the partner of the girl by the name of Marina. There's no information on how they became partners or anything about Marina's past. But let's see how their story unfolds. All right, we'll see how. Hopefully, we'll get a continuation to this of Death Freeze and Marina of Aqua. So it's a water based storytelling. Um, Knowing these stories, they're not going to stick around that long. We're gonna get a story. We're gonna get a story, but you're gonna get like at least. Well, I mean, if I've been doing social reading for a long time, this is a one off. You're gonna hear about this, and we're not gonna get another Death Freeze thing. But we got Death Freeze and Icy Golem Death Freeze. It sounds more like a cool move than it does of, of a of a story. Um, so just putting that out there. How do I get back there? Is it the same thing? Oh no, that's this. Is this for me? Oh no, okay, no. I thought this was. I thought it was like this. No, I was like, I sometimes put things for me in the same category as things that that I want to read. So my artwork, by Guardian of Time and Space Lord. This is a subclass species named Hal Halt Haltonate Haltonate Haltante or Halante. Uh, two of them. I guess Haltonate. I'm messing this up. I don't even know, but let's just go haltonate, antate, halt, antate. There we go. Two of them for now, but their names are oh, Astonate and Gartar. Yeah, I mean Gartar is easy to pronounce. I don't know about Astonate. The blue one is Astonate, and the one with one with the different colors is Gartar. Here's a photo of Astonate and Gartar. Yeah, cool. By me, creator original for Hellston Shrine, season 4, episode 15, on different social platforms. This is this race, the race of. Uh, wait, do I? Wait, hold on. There you go. This race is part of a story, and a part of a story is part of a storyline, and a part of different storyline as well. But of course, the marks on their head is logo. Okay, those are marks on their head. Luckily, only took me a couple minutes to create story fans. If you are looking for horns, they're if you're looking for horns, they are different because they're not part of same clan. Astonate is from is from former Queen Fi Filala Fila 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 protect protection demon bloodline. Astonate is oldest small demon still alive with task keeping okay great granddaughter safe of is there not an easy way to shorten that? I mean, I guess it's supposed to be part of it, but it's like, is there a way to like great times great x and put a number there? Uh, Granddaughter safe of all costs due to the reborn. Yeah, due to the reborn of that daughter, she carries she carries she still carries bloodline. She'll be first bloodline to come back from powerful attacks in decades. She she daughter of late queen who wasn't friendly to anyone, but she kind to her children. Ooh, me card, really good. Astonate and Gartar are different. Are ancient small demons who have been mistaken as normal demons, which I can't really tell the difference. I didn't know. I didn't know they're different demons. Um, but they not same. How halton haltonate race alternate race wasn't normal. She's a seventh generation daughter. Okay, that's yeah, yeah. See, exactly. It's never. You could just want to. Yeah, exactly. Just abbreviate it. But I think it's part of the joke too, where to kind of get to the like great, great, great. But maybe they don't know. Also, the author has to. If I do talk to the author, they'll fix up and stuff like Um, alternate race wasn't normal. They were a powerful in protection. The task was passed down to generation passed down to each generation. The same task built built every child with proper education and keeping themselves alive forever. Since it failed, they caught doing they caught doing a secret casting, thrown into jail. But the magical words they said completely worked. They 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 ori- they original their original task was back on track. They were let out knowing that there's still bloodline left alive. He was named Tyan de la Han la Rev in Von. Am I casting a spell? Thailand de la Han on le re on. Okay. He was the oldest left alive. They kept him in line. They kept him in line and helped him make his family lasting a bit longer. For return of their beloved Natalia, soon to be named Rina. She be confused at first. Same to me. I also confused at second. Uh, um, Astonate, Astonate, but without doubt, she, but without doubt, I actually know I can do this. Wait, I might have my handy dandy tools. Um,
Testing, testing. Yeah, it sounds I can better it up.
how about this? Okay, but without, but without doubt, she glad that we broke out her mother book. Uh, Carter, but she going be she going to be upset at us. We can't wait for a return. What happened to the bloodline? What happened to the bloodline wasn't no incident. It was completely tragic. A completely tragic ending for our household. But the clanship that supported us is still alive. All right, there you go. And I finally get to use my voice changer on my thing. So is I forgot which is Astar, and which one's Gartar. But those are the boys out there. So Um, nice short stories until I get to until I get to the stories I shouldn't be reading, which are the 11 fanfics, and that's why we gotta tell the kids that's why we have to send the kids to bed. Because is that the that's why we gotta send the kids to bed because we can't have them listening to the midnight social reading past social reading time. Oh, yeah, these are Dragon Ball fanfics. I there's one not here. Okay, let me go into here. Where's that other place? I gotta look past. Where is? Oh, here it is. And then I'll go over here. And where is he again? I'll go latest. Oh, that's a cute puppy. I think it was this one here. I just copy this one here and put that there. Usually, I put these links available for people to read for themselves, but not all come from the same place. All right, so this is a role play character. I'm assuming it's called Sebastian Gallic, but I think he looks like Leon Kennedy, um, and stuff like that. So it's like 14 to 18 minutes. Oh well, we'll skip some of the things. So Sebastian Garlic, I, I, I guess is his name, Sebastian Garlic. Um, all right. By unorthodox simplicity. Now playing Be Legendary by Pop Evil. Wait, is that actual? That's the actual song. Oh yeah, that's the actual song. Well, I'm not gonna play it because it's there's the Vivo the Vivo. So yeah, okay. So I don't know. I'm not gonna play that song. So I guess what happens is that you have to be playing that song "Be Legendary" by Pop Evil. Um, so at home you can probably turn on that song and listen to it. I have my, I think I have something that will work in that case. It's not gonna be fitting, but I'm not gonna attempt fate and listen to it and then be like try to play match up with it. So um hmm. No, it's not long enough. I need something longer than that. Let's pause that for a second. Um, yeah. So I never played. I don't even know the song. I don't even know what that song is, and I wish I could play that music, but I can't. And I shouldn't. I know I shouldn't really be testing this out because then have to change everything. So yeah, you can play Legendary by Pop Music at home, and then assuming that it sounds good in your ears, I'll pretend like I know what that song is. So name or alias is Sebastian Garlic. Status of being the supposed pet of a foreign goddess. Okay. Male, age 23, appears 19. I guess that's the closest we can get to him. This Leon looking, candy looking guy. Let me just get a better look at this. Yeah, like this is 19. No, this is not 19. Anyways, but hey, you know what? I'm here to read stories, and if this is what a 19 looks like to you, then okay. Uh, height is 6'1". I'm not even that tall. I'm 182 pounds. Orientation straight sub. Wait, sub. So he's a submissive. Okay, well here put that meme. The the artist is Bailey failed fetish right here. All right, so we're gonna get some real good stuff here. Oh boy. General appearance: Caucasian, healthy muscles in the arms and gut. Blue eyes, blonde bob cut hair with a bang swaying over the right eye. He has he has two blue scars. A cancerous one on this patch of his skin over the heart, and a diagonal gash on his back extending from the bottom left just below the right shoulder blade. Two blue two blue scars. What's that even? Oh, you're 6'1"? Oh, I'm like 5'2". So I may look tall on stream, but that's the illusion of the camera. And when you hold it at a when you hold the camera at a 45 degrees angle, I think it makes you look better. It makes me look taller, which I am neither of those. All right. So I'm still trying to figure out the two blue scars on this. Are they like, what are two blue scars? Like cancerous one, and I'm thinking of Devil May Cry, but I still don't understand the two blue scars. I mean, let me just look it up. I might just see some stuff that I shouldn't be seeing because it's gonna open up. I'm curious. Let me just look it up. What what this is. Um, is it safe? And I don't. I kind of want. Yes, yeah. Well, no, not all of it. It's not all of it's safe. I mean, you can look up blue scars at home. It's not that bad. It's just I don't know. It's not it's I know it's not about triggering people. It's just about protecting myself. All right, so two blue scars. Okay, personality. Sebastian does what he is told. It's not like that he considers himself so low. It gives him the sense of purpose, especially since he was taken in by a giant company. Okay. Um, dialogue. Oh boy, I get this. I get to have some dialogue here. Okay.
Um, no. Yeah. Wait.
Okay, this sounds good. Does it sound like does it sound like a Sebastian?
Does this sound like Sebastian? Yeah, maybe.
Does it sound like
No. Okay. I don't want.
This sounds like no. This sounds like
this sounds like some Sebastian. Okay. Being popular is so weird. What am I supposed to do with all this attention? I never asked for it. I especially never asked for my powers. I okay, hold on, I can do this. I I never it must I must have done something right, but it's I must have done something right. Oh,
All right. Hold on. The dialogue is. I guess this is him saying it. I guess because I'm wondering who dialogue is. Whoever dialogue is. Anyways, well, we need to get through this somehow. Whoever dialogue is, that's dialogue. Okay. Um, I
I must I must have I must have done something right by somebody.
powers. This
Powers. Powers.
powers, Crowmancy and concussion forces. Boone says nothing. That's Boone. Maybe Boone's a mute. Ice powers are the most powerful during winter. Okay, yeah, makes sense. In cold environments or shade, cannot be infected with vampirism or poison. That chills the blood. Can manipulate certain pressure points at the cost of his power. Does not bleed as much as it hurts. Enhanced strength, speed and durability, minor healing factor. If if Sebastian can, powers. Powers. Oh, I get it. Sorry. It wasn't. Sorry, I get it now. It was his powers, and I don't and his boons. Okay, I thought someone else was named Powers. Um, if if angry Sebastian can enhance his muscle mass for more strength and has a slighter stance to heat and fire. Slight stance to resistance to heat and fire. Okay, okay, it's all right. His longevity means that he can't die of old age. Okay, I guess that sounds cool. Except for the time when he needs to die at old age, or dies before that because the author forgot that he has that he can die. Weakness, fire, like everyone else. I'm not surprised. His weakness is fire. My weakness is fire. Everyone's weakness is fire. Okay. Electricity if exposed to electricity if it's exposed to too much heat or fire. Okay. Yeah. All right. Ice powers. Ice powers are their weakest in hot environments and in summer. Okay. Is 25% more likely to catch a fever if exposed to rain. I don't know about that. That's a stretch for some man who has ice powers. I assume the I think that's a stretch. I don't think he's gonna catch fever because of the rain if he has ice powers. I assume that just flu and colds would actually do it, but yeah, okay, sure. In this universe, again, concussion forces can be used against him in stealth. Him in stealth is involved. Okay, like everyone else. If muscle mass is increased, cannot use his chromacy and cannot use his cryomancy can get from overcome. If muscle mass is increased, cannot use his cryomancy and can get from another cryomancer. So if muscle mass is increased, he cannot use his cryomancy. How? I mean, how's cryomancy work? I'm not a cryomancer, of course. I live in Canada, but that doesn't make me a cryomancer. Just this makes me a person who can bear the cold better than anyone else. Um, but I'm assuming a cryomancer is what. Where does the powers come from? Like, does it come from the blood? Does it come from the soul? Does it come from space time? Does it come from just breathing? Breathing? So that's what I'm trying to get. Like, if you can't use it, then how's he have it? How does ice powers work in someone who's going to increase their muscle mass? I assume you're using some kind of, I don't know. I never. There's probably some more out there that have better explanation how crime masters work. But if anything, I would say maybe some kind of like power that maybe comes from chilling the air around you, which is more of a psychic thing. So psychic pyro what's it called? Pyromancy. No, there's metal. I forgot. I had to go to superpowers dot superpower fandom. I forgot. It's like the psychic plus ice. Um, psychic kinesis. Sorry, cryokinesis. So cryomancer would probably be cryokinesis, but if it's coming from his brain, it shouldn't affect his muscles. But hey, this is a writer thing. This is how he writes his Iceman. Um, yeah, can't. We'll just see how it goes. Maybe when he adds a fireman in it, maybe they'll be a little different. Cannot use pressure point if one of them is on his right hand have been struck. Well, it means you just have to just hit his right hand and hope that you get everything. Neat details. Bleeds blue. Okay, so he's lacking air. So yeah, he can feats caught a caught a Glock bullet in his teeth. So he can move very fast. For being Iceman and he can catch his teeth, that means he can move very fast. But I bet there's something down here that's gonna contradict his ability to do bullet thing. And he got shot once, and then next time he was able to catch it. But yeah, I don't know. Defeated a vampire that was his equal. Well, I don't know about vampires. Are they fast? Are they hot? Are they cold? I mean, no, they're dead. What is it? How's this vampire? How's this vampire equal? Does he fly? Does he bite? Does he? Who else? Does he jump from a chair and then says have at you, and then shoot fireballs? Because vampires do shoot fireballs depending on your vampire lore. You defeat a vampire. We'll find out more about vampires probably in the story. Healed a severe blood vessel. Wow, we froze it closed. Um, has the willpower to stop a heart attack. Oh, yeah, no, okay. He has the willpower to stop a heart attack. I don't know how a heart attack done. It's clogging of your arteries sometimes. Uh, I'm guessing he might be maybe like JoJo'd his heart with the cardiac massage, but I'm trying to figure out stop has the will to stop a heart attack. Like the man must be eating poorly. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I must be eating poorly or something like that, or he must have some bad heart. But he stopped it. He just must like keep working. It's like oh no, my heart. It just keeps beating it till it comes back. His cryo power is like I don't know, maybe it froze his heart a little bit, then unfroze it, froze it. Maybe there's some like ice, maybe some ice and some treatment. He froze a little bit, stopped it, and then unfroze it. I don't know. Sure, whatever. Let's remember that. Created a excuse me, created a black hole the size of no, stop. Wait, he has ice powers. When did he get black hole powers? This man's old. This man's too OP. Like he has ice powers. How do you get black hole powers all of a sudden? What are you doing to do this? What magic? What science are you doing to create black holes beach ball size with your ice powers? How does this work? I just feel like you're just adding new powers to them. It's like, yeah, you can make black holes, but why? I don't know. It sounds cool. I mean, okay, let's just theoretically do. Um, I've seen more than a lot. There's one guy who has his I don't know if I don't know if I can find it again, but he has an OP self insert character that can like do everything. He can do like suns, novas. It's hard to explain. It doesn't make sense. That's how powerful he is. It just stops making sense after a while. Yeah, that's all I can get to. Quadra Hero 7. If I can find his character, oh my goodness, I would, but it's like on like Death Battle Wiki or something like that. It's so hard to find. Um, create black holes. I don't know. Maybe he gets a new power with his ice powers, or maybe he figures out how to maybe he figures how to make things work. Um, um, yeah, I'm trying to find that person right now. Uh, the what's it? Fandom, fandom. Yeah, it's on the Fell fandom. I don't. Yeah, that'll take me a while to find that. Maybe it might take me maybe a good search. I don't know how Quadro Hero. Um, yeah, I don't feel I'll find it today unless they cleaned up his character off the thing, then we'll never see it. But maybe we're just doing one. We're giving one more chance. Hero 7. No, just give me Baymax. Yeah, I'm not gonna find it. Maybe next time I'll find it and bookmark it so I can remember it for later. Yeah. Absorbs ice crystals in the cloud of a snowstorm. Okay, that makes more sense. It makes more sense than creating black holes with his own ice powers. I don't know how anyone's doing that, but this man's proving to do it. So okay, you know what? If that's you, is that what your jam is? You can make black holes with nothing, and you can absorb ice crystals out of the clouds. One makes sense, one doesn't make sense. Get your power straight. All right, now we get this. Oh my goodness! I saw the word Mundus, and then I'm like, oh no, is this just Devil May Cry? But okay, here, all right, let's just get down to the story. All right, story. There is another planet in our solar system, Mundus. Like the guy on Mile Island, clearly the guy from Devil May Cry. But hey, you know what? Um, I'm gonna pretend like I don't know what Devil May Cry is, and I would love to play some Devil May. As soon as I hear that, I would love to play some Devil May Cry music. Just because it just fits. Um, the Devil May Cry, not the Ghana version, but uh, oh, I still have that in there. Not this version. Needs to go play the game. Yeah. So I'm thinking Dante. Not this one. Because I'm thinking blue. When I saw the word blue scars, the first thing I thought was Devil May Cry, and something said to me, "Nah, it can't be Devil May Cry." And then I feel like we're hitting. I feel like we're moving closer and closer to it being Devil May Cry. It's just, it's like the meter is like, we're getting closer. Getting closer, like uh-oh. Like I'm almost convinced I lost the thing. I'm going to be close. I'm almost convinced. Um if the more I read this and I find out it's Devil May Cry, I'm like, it's a Devil May Cry fan fiction. I should have known it. I should have known. They tricked me. Not they, but he won. There's another planet in our solar system, Mundus. The only the one the other one with life is the home race of humanoid beings called Levan Levans Levans Levites? No, not Levans. Hey Google, I need your help. Google, you're gonna tell me how to pronounce this word because you know. Let's go to Google Translate and stuff like that. I got scared my own by my own shadow. Wait, let's check this out.
Levions.
Oh, Levians. Okay, my bad. I mispronounced the name. Levians. They range from reptilian felines, so scalies and furries, even some of that resemble humans, but with odd colors like blood and snowy white. Red? You mean like red and white? Um, this planet was created by Kalia, a goddess with the Kali, Kali, a goddess that has been living ever since before the Big Bang. So ever since the Big Bang, but before that too, Kylie was there. Mundus has nothing to do with Devil May Cry. Was discovered in 1938 by astronomers that worked for a giant science company uh, called Inner Workings. That sounds something familiar. Um, what began as a exquisite hospital involved into a super conglomerate. When the Mundus uh, was was made public, humanity immediately set work on seeing its inhabitants and possibly the planet itself firsthand. It was a long process of waiting. Ironically, the Levians discovered the Earth discovered at around at the same time. Their technology was very identical to humans used at that time. Traveling to Mundus and Earth and even Earth didn't become possible until 1948, after the events of World War II. The Levians volunteered to be the visitors instead of the humans. It was the inner workings that invented a device called the Ferrat. With a numerical keypad, pilots and ship's captains could put their cardinal coordinates for certain locations between the two worlds. The Ferrat would create a purple electromagnetic portal big enough for ships, planes, helicopters, and etc. However, humanity was too far afraid to travel to Mundus. They couldn't risk another war that would eventually be far worse. On June 17, 1948, the first plane of the Levians showed in a mere hour. Both worlds held their breaths when they finally arrived on Earth. The humans found out that they were just as civilized. The common folk acted and spoke in similar ways, through slightly more formal. The world celebrated invasion, uh, invasion, evasion of unnecessary death. Inner Workings was congratulated for their discovery and became famous across the two realms. They were sent generous donations from the general public and even hired by the governments to handle any scientific inquiries. These scientists dabbled in everything but could be tapped into. The world is in a grain of sand. The medical use of praying mantis saliva, even the unorthodox creatures of the deep sea. Over the course of 70 years, Inner Workings became the most powerful company on Earth in both realms, claiming legal ownership of 65% of the Earth's industry and 12% of Mundus industries. However, humanity still didn't travel to Mundus. They had much to learn, but not a risk they could take. Events changing that would take place in 2019. Enter Volton Xerxes. Oh gosh, wow. Yeah, I'm not gonna just, VXLT Volt. Uh, you're gonna have to pronounce this for me again, Google. I'm not taking a chance at this.
Vulcan Xerxes and Leonidas Tulin.
Yeah, gotcha. Whatever you just said. We'll just call him V. We'll just call him V. Yeah, it's a long name. Or Xerx. V Xerx. Sure, whatever. Xerx Xerxes was proud of the Second Wind, a company that specialized in granting purpose to the wandering mercenaries, the homeless, and even the untalented. Underneath his public image was his own syndicate, right? You tell underneath his public images was his syndicate dedicated to science. Behind the scenes, Xerxes was conducting his own research on the inner workings' greatest discoveries, and it wasn't just Mundus itself. It was even a major connection to the Bible of Kunum. Mundus' own version of America. Oh. In 1882, there was a significant event. The Levians called the bio um, oh gosh, I'm blanking out right now. I know this word, catalysm, yeah, biocatalysis. One day a mysterious invisible virus fell upon the entirety of Mundus, like the pandemic virus. This virus had the ability to let those infected with it cheat death. By infecting the brain first, the virus, which inner workings called the necreon oxide, or NEWT for short, um, makes a sort of offer to the potential victim of a unfortunate circumstance. If the offer is accepted, the victim could not only survive but receive a boom based on their ordeal. For example, if someone was caught in a fire and lived to tell the tale, they could be granted pyrokinesis. I know this sounds familiar. I think Chainsaw Man has something like this. I'm vaguely loose. I think it was like your fears manifest into the thing. That's what I heard. I haven't watched Chainsaw Man, but I heard that something like your fears manifest into the thing that comes around and stuff like that. So, uh, but that sounds cool still. For example, if someone caught in a fire and lived to tell the tale, they could be granted pyrokinesis or is resistance to heat. I like having pyro. Well, I mean, it shouldn't just come hand in hand. Heat defense or heat offense. What you want? I'll take. Can I have both? I don't want to burn myself. Either boon would be granted, but cannot be chosen. Um, Eventually, when the Levians arrived on Earth, the virus carried in through the same plane. It took 12 years for the virus to spread throughout the entire Earth. Oh, I can't even see that. Oh! I got. Thank you, Kage West. Thank you. Was correct. Thank you for subscribing. Of all. Where was that? That's like I couldn't see because of all the text behind there. Okay. Thank you. What was it again? Eventually the aliens arrived on Earth and the virus. Earth and humanity could receive these boons as well, not as likely. The cataclysm was Kali's doing. Uh-uh. She wanted the Libyans who lived recently lives or great influence to be granted long life. In fact, they say Callie's physiology is mostly considered of Newt. That is where Xerxes focused his research, not Newt, Newt Callie and their connection to the Kunum Bible. One of the chapters in the book, called Ascension, speaks vaguely of a short prophecy and story. Before the universe was blown into what is today, Kali was bored and depressed. Her powers could be used in such an empty void. Their stars came to be. She noticed that many of them were blown into actual constellations. Two of them procured her interest, and she was dying to use her powers with a plan. The first constellation was a Minotaur, the bull-headed human. Kali's purpose for this creature was to serve as a guardian for the two worlds, not in the form of a beast, not in the form the beast is known for to humans. It would indeed be a human, a handsome man in her image, and he would grant the two dorks, I guess, two dorks, the terms Levians use for powers. Instead of having a black scar to show off the ordeal, the Minotaur would have two blue ones. Oh, yeah, the scars. The scars are back. Okay, so the second constellation was a chimera, the lion with a snake tail and the extra head of a goat. Despite Kali's vast and unimaginable power, she granted her new pet just as much power. Uh, Unfortunately for her, it would prove to be her greatest downfall, one of them. As the Chimera was created, Kali was completely oblivious to that it was given the ability to think sooner than it was supposed to. The moment the beast knew this, it also realized that it was tapping into Kali's power, albeit incapacitated. It discovered why it was being created. Kali's intention wasn't just to make the Chimera her pet. She should the Minotaur ever be made flesh and came across death, he would evolve into the Chimera, thus being granted the imaginable power Kali would grant. As a result, it would dominate the mortal soul of the Minotaur, taking away his free will. Assuming the mortal man survived the ordeal, the scars on his body would no longer be blue; they would be white and represent a great status. Okay, so the scars are doing something. Like they're showing some kind of ranking. So it's not just like, oh yeah, he has some blue scars. Because remember, this guy has blue scars on his back or his butt or something like that. I don't remember what position, but just imagine he's got two blue scars. You can put him wherever you want. All right. They'll probably come into something when we get corrected, but I guess blue, black, and white are the colors that are making up the scars. So that's cool. Um, I don't want to break the story, but yeah, I'm actually enjoying the story. Like I thought, like at first I was going in here with I know at the beginning of it I was like, okay, well this is weird and all stuff like that, but this is what social reading is all about. You know, it's like you come into the story like, huh, this is weird, and you're like, yeah, you know what? There's a lot of world building that's actually some decent stuff. Like I'm actually enjoying this world building that's being talked about, like the pre-story before that, because a lot of people just jump into like the main character and oh yeah, he's just going to school or something like that, or he's doing something and but this story seems to have its own agency, and that's what I like about what's going on right here. I'm actually invested into what was going on, albeit yeah, there were some things that just like, but now we're trying to get some explanation. I don't remember the names, and I don't know if they'll even go on, but this is actually thought out more than the stories that we just read previously, and some of the stories, this is actually has it's taken 18 minutes, so and there's nothing really I found wrong with it as much. Yeah, the description is more about the character the single character, that single character, which there's some things I still am trying to figure out where that black hole creating thing comes from if you have ice power. So wait, if we can take a minute to stop right here. If he has ice powers, and if someone survived a fire, what do you have to do to get ice powers? You just survive like a snowball to a face, and then the virus is like, oh yeah, you know what? You survived that snowball. Good job. Hey, how about some ice powers? It's like, okay, well, thanks. Hey, you choked you like the ice cream? Sorry, you choked on the ice cream? Well, here you go. Ice powers. Oh my goodness. I get ice powers. Hey, you stepped on a cold tile? Ice powers. It's like where do we draw the rules? Like a fire is dangerous, but you have to stand out in a blizzard and hope that you don't die before you get ice powers. So it's like what? I mean, I would take the easiest ones, like you just like step out of the shower into the cold, and you're like, yeah, you get ice powers, there you go. It's like, oh my goodness, this is my lucky day. But you don't get to choose. Remember, it will grant you whatever. So, you know what? It's always good to have some kind of defense. You never know when some other guy is going to have ice powers and feel as like ice spirit you and stuff like that. So it's always good to have some kind of defense. I don't know, but whatever I get, I'm not taking the fire one because you really have to burn in a almost die in a fire to get your fire ability. So, and I'm not taking the chance of dying in a fire to get my fire ability. So, um, poison power, maybe eat some bad food, you know. Over the I like over the blossom. It is I like I'm over here like blossom. It's the hot and ends up with the oh yeah, yeah, I forgot she got the powers, the ice breath. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's a callback with the Powerpuff Girls. That's a callback indeed. Um, so whatever your powers want to be, so it's do something. Don't hurt yourself. Don't drink the antifreeze. You won't get put. You will probably die faster than you get the thing. And plus, if you have ice powers already, don't drink it. It might take away ice powers and kill you. It might do double damage. I digress. It does double the damage. It not only does it unfreezes you and poisons you if you take too much. Um. Anyways, as the chimera's process continued, it was getting angry. The creature did not want this. It was being granted life only to take it away, and more than that free will. When Kali's work was complete, the chimera soul went absolutely insane and from anger and sympathy. It was the beast had it was then the beast had an idea. Should his power be resurrected, it would go along with Kali's plan, only to turn on her and unleash the sympathy and rage, thus avenging the soul it would dominate. That is the area of Kunum's Bible. Xerxes focused on. He wanted to not only discover the true connection between Kali and Newt, but manipulate the Chimera's power without losing his will or mind, thus becoming ruler of both Mundus and Earth, possibly more, probably the whole universe. Maybe after he's done conquering Earth and done Mundus, he'll move on to other planets, maybe a galaxy. Why not stop there? There's probably real estate all over in the other regions of space. Move on to that. Who's gonna stop you? Anyone who wants to stop you, really, actually. Possibly more. Tulun. Wait, Tulun, the Xerxes, Tulun, Jonathan, Charlotte the Third. I don't. I know he had many names, but okay. Tulun had a better grasp on the Bible than Xerxes. Events would turn for the better, or maybe worse. One day during winter, Tulun was sorting out some files for Xerxes in the custom office of his. he accidentally bumped into a picture of a tiger and it fell. The wall was absent. Nay, it was replaced with a safe. Thinking Xerxes was up to no good, Tulun decided to play detective and take a shot at the safe combo. He guessed it right, and on the first try, it was one, two, three. Instead, the safe was more a Instead the safe was a mere flash drive. Interesting. Uh, without hesitation, Tulun stole it. Wait, okay. Inside the safe was a sorry. Inside the safe was a mere flash drive. Okay. I guess we got some future tech. I was thinking, okay, you know what? I don't know where we're going with this. It's at 2019, so I guess what there should be flash drives, and people still name Xerxes and Tulun in 2019 in some other part of the country. Tulun stole it and retreated to his house on Earth. He had two Lati. Google help me out with this. I'm not gonna pronounce this one good. I don't know. Oh, it's right here. Zerk. And Voltus Xerxes and Linnaeus Tulun. Sorry, that wasn't. That was two different people. Let me just. Let me just.
Leonidas Tulin.
Okay. All right, Leon. Okay, that's why it's just two people. Leonidas was Leonidas was extremely wealthy. One of the perks of being under Xerxes' payroll, the flash drive had an algorithm that was hard to decipher. Well, not all of them. If you just do what YouTube tells you. Um, the information was fan, fantasizing, fascinating. There we go, and terrifying. Xerxes has ties to multiple facilities that belong to inner workings that the Grand Master of one of the of Mundus was working out an arrangement to sell it to him for cash. Buy him out. This was going to be useful for Xerxes' scheme. A vast amount of time and resources. Tulun had to deal with this global threat. He decided to copy the files onto another flash drive that resembled the original and used the third one as a decoy. It was too late. The day before Xerxes discovered his flash drive was missing, an assassin under Xerxes' payroll was ordered to Earth to deal with Tulun. They preferred the drive was to be destroyed to prevent the public from realizing his plan before he bought the facility. The assassins would have one weapon for the job. H6, their counterpart to C4. Oh, so wait, is it so C4 is a bomb. H6 is an implosion? Does it instead of it goes out, it comes in? I mean, I know it's a C4 or the C stands for in C4, but I'm assuming like it's the other way. All right. Well, thank you for coming out, and we'll see you next time. Just you know what? I'm crying, baby, and you're good to good. So talk to me. It's got one more. All right. Thank you, Ratsaki, and for everyone else. I hope you guys stay around for the end. Also, you can, if anything, you can see this on YouTube and stuff like that. If you're still around, you can always catch us on YouTube if you want to get the rest of this. We went over the 2 hour limit, but we got to finish this. We had to finish this off and call it a night. Their target was a wired box. And I want to know what actually no. Let me take a look at what a C4 is. No, that's not the C4 I was looking for. A C4 is a composite. Compositive is a com. I know what C4 is, but I don't know what like I didn't know what like what the C in four means. I know it's a bomb. A compositive C4 is a common variety plastic explosive family known as the composite RDX. C4 was composed of explosives, plastic binder, plasters, and malleable, usually markers and oxidizing target and chemicals. Like I've seen it in Metal Gear. That's what I know. I know C4 because in Metal Gear, Snake and the Snake was like you using C4, and C3 Snake was using that to put on Shackle Hot. So I know there's C4 C3, but in H6 that might need some further explaining because what is H6 if it's what is it how is it a counterpart to C4? Well, we'll find out, I guess. Their target was a wired box underneath Tulun's house. They set the timer for 5 minutes and fled the safe distance. I guess we're not going to get it what a C4 is, but I guess we're just imagine the C4 is whatever it's going to C4 is going to do to the guy does the opposite of what a C4 does. H6 does to a C4 don't do. Um, it was the assassin made a shocking realization that not that only met Linnaeus in a few times. He waited until the day prior to turn tail from Xerxes and foil his plan. If he had the will to do that, he must have a good reason. They uh, they were they were ready to kill without knowing anything true. They ran back to the house. It was too late. The explosion detonated. Linnaeus was blown all the way into a nearby frozen. Okay, yeah, he's blown into a nearby frozen house, nearby frozen pond, nearby frozen air, nearby frozen world, nearby frozen chemical plant, frozen movie. I don't know. Nearby frozen, yes, cool. The house was completely this. The house was completely destroyed along with the flash drive. Tulun's impact shattered the ice, gashing his back. In the process, he began to sink. The assassin dove in head first. Oh, he's gonna get ice powers. Look at this guy's gonna. He almost died. He touches ice. It gets cold. Ice powers. See, I would ever took choking on ice cream as an ice power, but I'm not the right one writing this, anyways. It was it was it was then something extraordinary happened. Although Tulun was sinking to the bottom, he wasn't the one in the frigid water. If anything, someone else was between him and the assassin. However, nobody else was out there. When they pulled out what they thought was Tulun, it wasn't him at all. It wasn't even Levian. It was a human, a man, an assassin who had just bared witness to a reincarnation. When they pulled the man out of the water, they were by approach one of the local residents, a baker named Leon, who happened to see the explosion and already contacted the ambulance. One that belonged to the inner workings arrived mere minutes. Leon introduced himself to the trio and headed to the facility that began uh, that began as a hospital. The man's body underwent a remarkable transformation. The assassin and Leon watched in amazement. The man who had a sort of uh, shrapnel wound over his heart was. There was a large gash on his back. Both of these wounds in unison started to change color, not black. Blue. The Minotaur had been made flesh, just as the Bible of Canum foretold. Just as Canum foretold.
Just as Canaan foretold.
Right.
Uh, when the man had got to the hospital, Leon stepped. Uh, uh, when the man got to the hospital, Leon stayed, but the assassin had to leave. They had needed to they needed to process what just happened. The Minotaur was meant to be a Livian, yet their very status was granted to a human, quite the real person Xerxes wanted her to kill. Xerxes wanted her to kill. Now that very human had some connection to Kali. Both of them, the Minotaur was real and quite possibly a chimera as well. The assassin returned to Mundus, They needed to cover their tracks before Xerxes had caught on to their treachery. He couldn't know what they have done. They decided to contact handfuls of allies within Xerxes' syndicate and appraise for only them for her actions. With them, the assassin formed a cult called the Den Keepers, made evident by the insignia of the lion head and the snake and the goat on the form of the medallion. The assassins now had one purpose: protect the Minotaur from themselves and Xerxes. As the man he awoke the next morning. He was greeted by Virgil. Virgil. Mundus. Virgil. Um, I don't know. I'm getting a lot of Devil May Cry in this. It, I I know this is taking. There has to be like okay. Look at I'm convinced that there's some Devil May Cry influences because the picture looks like Leon. So and I think Leon did spawn. His Resident Evil 4 originally was supposed to spawn Devil May Cry. So so there's that and Mundus, Virgil, and everything else is just kind of tacked into there. So I'm getting a lot of Devil May Cry vibes. So that that's two checks. That's two check marks. All right. So two check marks. I'm gonna call that. Also, I think the person and know what. Also, the person's profile picture is Dante. So yes, complete. Okay, rules of thirds. It's Devil May Cry. I'm not gonna go all the way back there. I'm gonna try to. Yeah, see, look, they're here. Dante. Uh, so there we go. And if we look at the other stuff, which we'll look at the end of this. Yeah, so it's just Devil May Cry. There's some Devil May Cry in there. I realized what I was looking at, and I was like, yep, here it is. All right, that's solved. Put a check mark in that. I had a bingo sheet, but maybe next time when we get back to this, we'll get back to the bingo. We'll get the bingo sheet. Um, Virgil's Virgil Silas, the Grandmaster of the facility in Redstone City in Wadham City. Let me try something. Yeah, always bring water. Um, so-called Bull's Eye of America. The human could remember a thing about the previous life and was confused to see another man that was a human. Virgil appraised everything of him of appraised him of everything. Mundus, the Livians, and the company of viruses, his status, everything he possibly could know. The man was dumbstruck, no memories, and he only knew that was rather, rather, he was rather than who. Thankfully, Virgil relied on his real name. I think yeah, and Dante had two names. Tony Red, Tony Red, Tony Redgrave. So real name Dante, Tony Redgrave, Sebastian Garlic. It's just Devil. I don't want to say it's just Devil May Cry. Didn't need to know the other name. Virgil made a offer to Sebastian since he was all he really acts. Oh, I'm losing connection. Oh well, we can do this without the connection anyway. I'm recording. Um, In return, Sebastian would have be the tough test subject and receive the training in the company's private. Sebastian, of course, would have all the access to the company to uh, save for a few things. He really asked for in return was a place to stay, somewhere to sleep, and a shower. Virgil agreed. For the next few years, Sebastian would train. Wow. Oh, it's not connecting back. Oh wow. Um, Sebastian. Okay. Lost myself. Okay, one day, yeah, like Sebastian trained well under the soldier of the military, learned how to use his powers for of chromancy and concussion forces, took up the studying of the Canumian Bible and the company of the virus, and variety of other things. Sebastian was a quick study. One day, when he was talking to Virgil, he brought up a interesting topic. 4 years later, and he knew nothing of who saved him or tried to end him. He even had he even earned the affection of the Cuman's queen, Verona. Though he wasn't interested, Sebastian was a great friend to Virgil, and had a cult worship him. But all came from a Canumium explosion. If I recall, um, what was that thing again? With where they worship Sparta. That was a thing. You really can't. Uh, yeah, I remember they wanted to worship Sparta. Okay, good. We're back. I don't know why that thing kicked out. I'm sorry. Internet's not always the greatest. So, um so I'm sorry this is also gonna be recorded, but hey. Um as long as we can get this thing working, I think we're almost done. So um yeah. Not always gonna be the greatest, but it works most of the times. So yeah, we're so I don't know, we're coming to close to the end anyways. Um there you go. Don't know why it kicked out anyways. Okay. So the wait was over. Sebastian decided to risk inter-realm war with the Mundus, and the Earth being the first human to set. And wait, okay, that was the wait was over. Sebastian decided to risk Earth inter-realm war with Mundus and Earth by being the first human to set foot in it. He packed himself enough clothes and supplies for the whole furlong and booked a flight with one of the company's private jets. Sebastian had one of two goals: thank who saved him, or killed who. Sebastian had one of two goals: thank who saved him, or kill who nearly ended him. Now he stands in Burgas City. All right. Like I gotta say, that was a actually a good story. Like I came in here I came here with like small uh, I came here with like my expectations were set low, but instead I got my expectations raised high. And and like I got a lot to make Devil May Cry out of it. I like Devil May Cry. Um yeah, no, the story was great. And the good thing I recorded it even though the internet went down. So anyone who was listening to it could have to just listen to it on playback. But yeah, hopefully what happens in the future, I want to have more social reading. I want to bring it back. There's some other stories I should be reading, but we went over the time limit and stuff like that. So I would love to even bring back social reading because um, that's where this is why it's called midnight social reading because it's done at the midnight hour. I have free time, Also because what you can sleep to it, you can be awake to it. It's just better time for me to get on to this thing and read stories. So I do have to think Kanye West was correct for subscribing. And hopefully I can gather more stories. There are more stories, and I'll get back to fanfics because there's times I we're reading lemon fanfics from different writers and stuff like that. I don't know where we're going to get into the future, but I do want to downplay the story and downplay the news and get more stories. I even said on Twitter, I even said in the Discord, but I guess no one really read it. So I had to say on podcasts for those who are listening to it now that we're putting back reading back in social reading because this is what social reading was about originally. That is about having the social group come in, everyone just kind of like chill and just and talk and get into some stories, get into like different worlds. Hence why I even make my game because like it's just getting into different getting what is it? Not getting involved. Yeah, getting involved. Getting to explore different mindsets and stuff like that. And I just want to get back to that missing thing that was happening. It's like we don't have to have news all the time, and I don't want to go searching for news. If I see news, I'll bring it if it's important. But this is what's supposed to be. Uh, me, everyone around, and we just have a nice time, read some stories, and get to know our local authors out there and see what they got because that story is pretty good. That story is good. Beginning, they know what I was getting into. Now that I got something that kind of grounds the whole thing with scars and anything like that as an enjoyable story and can't really don't know how to. Maybe I can put the link, but there's no chat replay, so I don't know how you guys are gonna get to read it if you want to read it for yourself. I don't know. Maybe join the Discord. Maybe join the Amino. I wouldn't really necessarily join Amino. If you were listening to the podcast earlier, Amino's not the place you want to join. She loved me, Lady Line. Yeah, so uh, Mino's not really the great place to join and stuff like that. But yeah, totally join the Twitch if you can, so you can hear more stories that are going on. So my voice needs some rest and stuff like that. I've been working it all day. And so I pray that you have a good day and a good night, and we'll see you in the week on the next social reading, um, whatever that will be, with more reading and less social. So I messed up last time. Let me turn this down just a bit. Okay. And I'm going to be playing Death vs. Let It Die. Oh, also, yeah, I forgot to say. Death vs. Let It Die. What time is it? Okay, there's still time. We're going to be playing Death vs. Let It Die. I want to get back in Devil May Cry. I want to do some streaming and stuff. I need to get back to my game. I've been neglecting my game. Well, not too long. I gotta just do two things while I'm waiting in the lobby to do the two things. Anyways, the game's come out good. I'm enjoying the games and I'm enjoying everything. So thank you for coming out, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll hopefully have some more stories on the YouTube channel and everything like that. So goodbye. All right, I'll turn this down.